Welcome to Build Your Thing, the podcast where we help you find your unique creative voice, monetize your work, and build your tribe of loyal fans. I'm your host, Matt Giaro, and today is a little bit of embarrassing episode, but I thought that there will be some great lessons for you here. And with that being said, let's just get started. So a few days back, I've jumped on a call with a co-founder of a new note-taking app, a visual note-taking app. And what happened is that I just wanted to give my genuine feedback about how I'm using notes and just giving and providing this person who was very nice and reached out to me in a very polite and very nice way. So, I just thought, why don't jump on a call, just build a genuine relationship with someone who's just seeking for market feedback and just making some market research. And here I was on the call, and I just took a look on the onboarding video of the software, and then I just started talking and just giving actually this person my opinion and just sharing my workflow with him so that he can actually understand a little bit better what I was looking for and how I was working, and maybe incorporate some of the feature suggestions that I'm going to give him. So the interesting thing, though, is that what happened is that so it's a note-taking app, and I just saw, I was just cringing, like, oh, they don't have Markdown. How is that possible? And then I was just on the call telling him, I don't understand why you don't have Markdown. I think that it's mandatory to incorporate Markdown in your way of in your software. And I'm using Markdown day in, day out, and I remember that I told him exactly this phrase, is that everybody's using Markdown. So he listened to politely, and then he just started giving me some feedback on the feedback that I just gave him. And he told me that what he saw from making his market research is that a lot of people, like the vast majority of people who take notes, actually don't use Markdown. And the vast majority of people who were using Markdown, apologize for the cars here, but the vast majority of people who were using Markdown were actually developers and content creators. And he actually totally nailed down the fact that Markdown is just like an easier way to work with text. But here I was. Like, I was on my planet, on my Markdown planet, on the guy who was using Markdown day in, day out. And here I just got another person who just told me politely that, Markdown is not a standard. And I was like, oh, what's happening here? And this was like a nice reminder that we all see the world through different lenses. And I was on my Markdown planet, and while probably the note-taking community or the note-taking market was probably on another planet, they were not using Markdown. So who's right? Am I right? Or are they right? To be honest, I don't really care. What I know is that I like to use Markdown. I think it's a great way to just format text and don't have to think about and don't have to click on anything else, and just using your keyboard. But on the other way, I was just trapped into my reality of things. And this is something that we tend also to underestimate and forget as entrepreneurs, is that we have our vision of the world, and people that we're talking to may not have the same vision. So our role is to actually be able to emphasize on our vision and why our vision is the right one, right? And then just be able to draw people in. And this is also something that good audience builders know how to utilize, because it's all about being able to repel people. So if people actually don't want to use Markdown, why should I try to go on a war and just try arguing with them? Well, there are plenty of other people who actually know that Markdown is the way to go. You see what I mean? So I'm just extrapolating a little bit on Markdown, but this could be on anything that you offer. This could be on anything that you are actually building. So you may be building an audience around, let's say, note-taking or personal knowledge management, and maybe people just don't resonate with the fact that, well, I want you using this or that software, or they're just like in their world. I mean, it's totally okay. Just don't try to argue with them. Just tell them, thank you very much, have a nice one, and yeah, just continue, keep going. And in fact, what is interesting is that just 2 hours ago, there was just someone who signed up for my free note-taking course. And by the way, I'm going to link to this course in the description. And he just told me after, I guess, lesson 3 that he wasn't interested in actually using backlinks and all the stuff that I'm talking about. And I told him, well, that's totally fine. Thank you very much. I just unsubscribed to you. Have a nice one. Finish. Why shall I argue? If this person is actually thinks that it's the best way for them, then I'm totally fine with it. And I'm also totally fine with accepting the weaknesses of some of the things that I'm teaching, because I also got a lot of people who just sign up for my course telling me that, well, they are taking notes for, let's say, retrieving product information, customer data, so on and so forth. And if you think about it, when I say I take notes, I have my bias, I have my paradigm, I have my lens of I'm taking notes in order just to create content, in order just to spark creativity. This is why I'm taking notes. Other people may not have this paradigm of, for them, the paradigm of taking notes is actually just being able to retrieve and recall information. Who is right? Who is wrong? Well, maybe everybody's right. And it's just a matter of understanding the different paradigms and redefining the terminology. This is maybe the only thing that we have to care about. So yeah, I hope this episode made sense. And it's really all about, like, the biggest takeaway here is everyone has his own lenses. Everyone has his paradigms. And depending on that, we just start taking action, and we just see different patterns. And our way, what we have to do as content creators is just emphasize the paradigms, maybe shifting some small paradigms if you see that you can do that. But actually, most of the time, the easiest thing to do is just go with the flow and just see what the natural desires people have and the natural way of doing things, and just emphasize on that. And I'm a big fan of actually creating mind shifts, creating paradigm shifts. But I can only do them if the person in front of me is actually willing to question some of their thoughts and some of their actions and some of their way they are doing things. This is what we call being coachable. Like, if you're not coachable, then don't expect actually to get a lot of value of, let's say, programs or trainings or everything in between, right? You have to be coachable. You have to accept, and you have to be open to change. If you're not open to change, then I can argue until for a very long time, and I still won't be able to actually make you change. So this is something that you have to think about, you as a content creator, and also about the people that you're creating your content for, right? So the people who are consuming your content, may it be videos, podcasts, emails, articles, whatever. Really think about it. Everyone has his paradigm, and everyone sees the world through his own lenses. So I hope you found this episode valuable. If you appreciate it, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you have 20 seconds, I would really appreciate just leaving a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and also leaving just a quick written review. It will actually help to get more exposure for the podcast. And with that being said, I see you in the next episode.